Hey guys, welcome back. This is Juan from Travel Class. I'm seriously, right now, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I just got my next card. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you what it is, but it is a Chase business card. And I get super excited when I get these. Like, I literally just got it right now. And I get super excited when I get these. I've been waiting for this guy all week long because I know that once I spend $5,000 on this particular card, I'm going to make 85,000 points on this card. And I just finished having this card actually, and this is my wife's card now. And so this episode, we're going to go over, just so happens to be, I'm going to go over the rules that you need to know to apply for Chase cards. And so I'm going to call this episode Chase Rules. So one thing I do want to go over, and I don't want to mislead anyone. The reason that we're able to take so many trips is because most of the places that we end up going to, we're staying with family. So most of our points, if not all of these points, are probably going to go strictly to flights, to airline. We're going to use these points for airline travel, okay? Can you use these points for hotels? Certainly. You're just going to need more points. Chase credit cards are essentially world-renowned for offering the best sign-up bonuses in the market. However, I will tell you that even though I value these cards probably higher among all of the cards that are out there at this moment, and that can change, I would also say and make the claim that just because they work for my family and our goals as far as flights doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be your goal, because maybe you're looking to do something different with those points. Rule number one. Rule number one is probably going to be one of the few rules that apply to all of these cards that are worth getting. And rule number one is quite simple, folks. You're not going to obtain any of these cards, almost guaranteed, unless you have at least, and I even hate saying this number, a 720 credit score. However, I don't know how comfortable I would feel going after, because that's going to be the minimum. So that means that most people, or a majority of people, or some people, end up getting declined right off the bat for having a 720. So I would actually increase that for your purposes to a 740. One of the ways that you can check, because there are a lot of people out there who probably don't know what their credit score is, and that's okay. So one way that I'd recommend you doing, or one thing that I'd recommend you doing, is going to Experian.com. And I actually have Experian.com that emails me about every 2 weeks that lets me know, are there any changes to my credit at this moment? And it also shares with me any changes to my credit as well as what my credit score is. And so my credit score does fluctuate just like yours does. I don't know if you even know that, but your credit score does fluctuate. Some people also, which I do as well, I have multiple accounts. So I have Experian and I also have Credit Karma. Credit Karma is nice, but it will not be as accurate at predicting your credit score because of the algorithm that they use, or wherever they're pulling your information from, it simply isn't legit. And so I want to make that clear, that if you're using Credit Karma, my Credit Karma score, even though my Experian score is 807, my Credit Karma score is like an 830, which means I'm almost a perfect credit score rating. And I'd like to believe that, but I know it's not accurate. Second rule. Now this one is very, very important that you listen to. Please, if you're ever thinking about going after a Chase credit card, you have to understand. There is this rule that they've come up with within the last couple years, and it's called the 524 rule. I'm going to do my best in explaining what it is. And I'm going to do my best so that you can understand and know what you need to do to find out if you're even eligible to apply for Chase cards. The 524 rule is basically this. If you have 5 accounts that you have opened in the last 24 months, they will decline you instantly. It doesn't even matter if you have a 850, which is a perfect credit score rating, they will still instantly decline you. So if you have 5 cards, it doesn't matter if it's not through Chase. Heck, it doesn't even matter if you opened up that Target card or that Best Buy card to save 10% off your one-time purchase. That also, if it comes up in your credit score, it will count against you. Another thing to keep in mind, related to the 524 rule, most people don't even think about this. However, if I get a card and then I put my wife down as a secondary card holder, if I provide them with my wife's social security number, that now counts against her 524 rule. Okay, I'm going to go over that again. If you get a card or your spouse gets a card, and we do this all the time where sometimes we need 2 cards because we're both making transactions, right? However, if she puts down my social security number on her application to get a second card, guess what happens to my 524 rule? It messes me up. Likewise, if I'm getting a card and I ask for a secondary card and I give them her social security number, guess what happens to her 524 rule? So the next time that she goes to apply for a card, she might not be eligible because I messed it up. So just keep that in mind. You do not want to give Chase the social security of the secondary card member if you're doing this with your spouse. Always before applying for any of these Chase cards, you're going to want to check with your Experian and go back 24 months, or another good website that works rather well that I've used multiple times, and I always double check. I do on 2 different accounts. Again, like I'll use it on the Experian account, and then I'll check my same information on bankrate.com. Bankrate.com. And then I'll do that same thing. I'll go back 24 months. So we're talking, I'm in February right now, so I'd go back to February 2017. And I start counting from there. If it shows up with 5 cards, 5 accounts opened up, doesn't matter if it's Chase, if it's Amazon, for goodness sakes. If you have 5 accounts opened, you won't be eligible for these particular cards at the moment. So you might have to go a stint without opening up any cards in order to become eligible again. And Chase currently, at the time of this video, is the only company that has the 524 rules. Other companies have different rules, but Chase is essentially one of the hardest companies to get into. So how do you lose in this game of credit churning? Well, I'll tell you. You lose by overspending. Okay? Just because you got a credit card does not, if you're in this kind of a person that you think that a credit card means free money, you're going to lose off the bat. Okay? If you're not living a lifestyle that you would normally live without the credit card, you're going to lose right off the bat. If you don't pay your balance off in full every month, you're going to lose right off the bat because now you're going to be paying interest. And that is how they can afford to send me and my family on all of these vacations, okay? Is because some people, not saying you, are not paying off their balance right off the bat. And lastly, I would suspect if you are late on a payment, you probably don't even have a high enough credit score rating if that's your norm. But certainly you do not want to be late on any of your payments. Winning, quite easy. You pay off your card right away. You only buy the things that you need, the things that you would normally buy, and then you reap those rewards, assuming that you're able to make that minimum spending balance. Lastly, the last thing I need to say is that I know, and I've heard from a lot of different friends as of right now, and I'm very happy to hear that you guys are watching these videos, that it interests you. I heard many people are already ready to dive in. And I said, well, wait for a second, wait. I know that it is exciting. I get excited. Heck, I am like a kid at the candy store when I get that card that I just showed you guys. However, this is just video 2. In video 3, especially if you've done your homework now, and by the next time that I do a video, you've already noticed that you're well within the 740 credit score rating, and you're well within the 524 rule, and you're like, all right, Juan, what next? I ask you to hold up and wait for the next video, because if you go into Chase, which I would recommend Chase, but if you go into Chase, if you take my recommendation and you decide, okay, I'm going to go into Chase, there's a right way of doing this, and then there's a way that you'll still get that initial card, but you'll mess yourself up for the next one. And that's what's really important is this 524 rule messes everything up if you don't do it with strategy, and that's what I hope to go over in my next video. So please hold up one more week. Don't mess yourself up. It's simply not worth it. You can certainly wait one more week if you're really that desperate to get a card. But in the meanwhile, I would just recommend that you find out if you have a 740 credit score rating, and find out if you are within the 524 rule. So you need to basically have up to 4 in the last 24 months. 2 years. Cool? Awesome. So thank you for watching once again. Juan from Travel Class, and my next video, as I stated, is going to be about the strategy for the actual Chase cards, and I'm going to break it down with some numbers, folks. So make sure that in the next video you bring yourself a pen and a calculator, and you can double check my information that I'm going to provide you, and then you can make a better determination as to which card and which method works best for you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next week.